Hi, hello YouTube. This is Collectibles here with another YouTube unboxing of a lot of Pokemon cards and maybe some other stuff. We shall see. So we're gonna go through this a little quicker than maybe in the past, just because there's quite a large number. If you've seen the thumbnail, that is indicative of some of the things we will be seeing today in terms of the package quality. Here we have a Japanese slab. It's a Ditto. Here we have a Japanese Ditto, Prism Star. Very cool card. We have a new game coming out that's very Ditto-centric, so just part of the collection here. Maybe some gains to be had in the future on that one. Wanted to grab it before it gets too high up. If you're unaware, that card is like, in English, was like a $2 card. It was kind of playable, but never got too crazy. Maybe it went up to 10 while it was playable. But the PSA 10 version of it is like almost non-existent. There's very few copies and it sells for almost like $1,000 or more. Pretty cool card. And here we have an English. We have a Charizard. Love the artwork on this. We also have some very cool Charizards coming out in the very near future. So I wanted to pick this one up as well before we have potentially a big spike. We have another package. I do like Charizard. I think he's pretty cool. He's in my top 5 Pokemon. He's not my favorite, but I do love myself a good Charizard. I think he has a really cool story in the anime where he's kind of like hard to train and kind of egotistical and stuff. I feel like I relate. I feel he's kind of a, doesn't really like to be coached. He just likes to do what he wants, which I think we all can relate a little bit to that in certain points of our life. Here we have another Japanese card, and it's the same card, but in Japanese. That was not planned, at least not to be back-to-back. That was a bit of a coincidence there. So, pretty cool coincidence. Something I'll always remember those cards by, right? Here we have packaging amongst packaging. These are kind of cool ways to send cards. They had a lot of tape and glue right near kind of the top of the cards, which is a little sketchy, but seems like the card made it okay. If you haven't seen the prior videos, this is the Delta Species Mimikyu promo, kind of throwback for the 25th anniversary. I'm speculating pretty hard on that card, trying to collect as many as possible in anticipation of the 30th anniversary coming up next year. I just think it's a super undervalued card. I think there's a lot of room for growth. And if it never grows, I think it'll look cool in the binder to have a bunch left. So that's where I see that Mimikyu coming. Mimikyu is my favorite. And here we have more Mimikyus. These are both raw copies. I have several graded as well. So I'm kind of all in on that card. I think I've explained that pretty in depth in the other video. But if you think I'm crazy for thinking that card will go up, please feel free to let me know. Maybe this is a great time to say, please like and subscribe. I noticed we had a few extra subscribers this week, so thank you very much. I'm very new to YouTube, just kind of doing this for fun, not really taking it too seriously, and I've made some big plays in Pokemon the last month, so I wanted to kind of document a lot of it. So here's another Japanese card, and boom, we have the Cold Flare Ditto Holo from the Black and White set. There's also very few of these. I think the pop, there's a first edition that's like pop 20 or so, which means there's only 20 PSA 10s in existence. And the non-first edition is actually more rare. It's like 16, something like that. I think my numbers are a little off, but it's under 30, I think, for both. So pretty rare card, pretty undervalued, I would say, with the Ditto set coming up. This is a Mimikyu. I got this, I think, for a great price, well under what recent ones have sold. So this one's for the personal collection, trying to have complete set of PSA 10 Mimikyus. It is getting very hard with all the like reverse holos and stuff. But luckily I got a lot of the current expensive ones back when they were very cheap, and Mimikyu seems to have been one of the lucky ones who's soared in price. Not great if you're trying to collect, but as someone who's kind of in on that Pokemon in the early games, I am pretty happy I did. So here we have an English card, and this is another Vivid Voltage pre-release card. Again, in my last video, and sorry, it's probably the same 2 people watching this each time. But I just went over, I love cards with stamps, and from pre-releases, they're cool events. So yeah, highly recommend the pre-release cards, going to pre-releases, playing them. And here's an ad. They threw in a sticker, that's kind of cool. Advertising their shop, their online shop. I usually just go off eBay. I don't really have too much affinity. There is one seller's box we'll get to who I've done a lot of business with. And kind of what's his packages motivated the making of this video. Here's another Japanese card. I love when they put like their PSA slabs when you buy one in like a protector, as opposed to like this one. It's just like the plain plastic. There's nothing protecting it. I ended up just buying some. They're pretty cheap, but it's nice when a seller includes that. But I see why they don't when you're not making a ton of money off the deal. So this is a Magikarp. This is the 20th anniversary set. So this is CP6, which is basically Evolutions, but for Japanese. I think this set really underrated. Basically base set reprint with some modern adaptations, and the Japanese booster box sells for insane amounts, but you can pick up cool PSA 10s for almost the cost of grading. So it's pretty cool. Okay, this is a box I bought. Japanese cards, but it's from a Chinese seller, which was my red flag number 1. And then a bunch of reviews started coming out saying the seller was selling fake cards. Oh, this is not what I thought. I will have to review this in greater detail after the video. I actually have no idea what this is. Okay, so I bought 5 raw cards of this Burger Chew, or Big Macachu, I think it's being called, which I covered in my last video. However, so I bought 5 raw, and reviews were going up saying they're fake. And so I messaged the seller asking them to cancel this, but he refused, and he printed the label anyways, and eBay says we don't step in until it's arrived, or if it never arrives, then we step in for the reimbursement. So instead of 5 raw, he sent 5 PSA 10 cards, which you would think is great. He sent you 10 graded cards. However, if I hold these 2 cards together, the slab feels, so the slab is in the plastic PSA, feels very different. They look pretty dang close though. But it feels different. It's not frosted here. Let me see. There's the Ditto has some frosting. Trying to see if I could capture it for you guys. I'm not sure if I can, but there's like frosting in between here, down here as well. There's some frosting. It's not just clear, whereas this is just straight clear. It's kind of like an attempt at frosting, but it looks very different. Yeah, you can even see here, it's the same thing. There's just no frosting, straight through. And I do actually have an authentic one that I know is authentic. And again, no frosting, even though the serial number is the same. The font on the slabs looks completely different. It's kind of shrunken and different font. It's much more like bold on the fake one and condensed, as opposed to this one. It's more spread out. And then the card itself, I'm not sure if the camera is picking it up, but the fake one is a little bit darker. It's not the same quality there. There's also like a blemish. Oh, and they sleeved they sleeved the card underneath. So there's like a plastic sleeve with like a blemish. I think it's tape actually on the sleeve. So I don't believe PSA slabs, or yeah, I don't think I've ever had a PSA slab where they sleeve the inside of the case, like the card on the inside. So I'm going to conclude 100% fake. Looks kind of close if you don't know what you're looking at. But yeah, super unethical seller, like major piece of crap. That's awful to try to pass these off as real. So I will be seeking a refund and I guess keeping that for the lulz. Also for the lulz, this package just absolutely obliterated, completely bent. And not sure if the camera's picking that up too much, but completely trashed. So not a good shipper, whoever shipped this from Connecticut. But we shall see if the contents are damaged or not. I would assume somewhat. It's a pretty, I would say whoever shipped this, their shipping is as bad as my ability to use an X-Acto knife to open it. I think he's got similar deficiencies as me in this category. However, I'm not charging people to watch or benefit from my X-Acto knife skills, whereas this seller certainly is charging me for whatever is in this package. But yeah, he did use a padded envelope on the inside. That's great, but there was so much space extra on that package. No wonder that happened. Oh, it's also a PSA slab, which is not great to be in there. That's a cool one though. Looks authentic. You see the frosting and the normal font. Card looks legit too. Very cool card. Looks great in the shine of the light. But yeah, hope you're all liking this video so far. Again, I'm very new to making videos, so if you have any comments, I know the tech aspect, like the sound and the camera angles, etc., are probably lacking. Oh yeah, by the way, I think this is from my friend. Yes, this is from my friend Heights TCG. Y'all should check him out. We did a big trade where I sent him some things that weren't quite fitting in my collection anymore. There's some stuff I liked a little bit more for personal collection stuff, and maybe later down the line if I get bored, for sale. So here's Lost Origin. It looks like 5 packs, which is cool. Probably just leave it. Let's see what the artworks are. That's cool. I'm glad I opened it. I would never found that. So yeah, very cool. A lot of Giratina arts. Modern packs. I actually have not really held much modern packs recently. I used to open a lot, but it seemed not super fruitful. Obviously, it's kind of like gambling, so I tried to not. Base set Venusaur 2, trying to collect the big 3 in all arts. That is really good copy, actually. But yeah, you can see the holo. Looks great. Good find on that. Heights TCG Plus. So then we, as part of the deal, we had some slabs. So this is a very similar Charizard you just saw in English. Texturing is way different than the Japanese counterpart. Not as cool as the Japanese one, but still very cool. Nice, you can read it. So this card, this is the heaviest hitter of the one. He has as a pop 28. I believe that's accurate, which is cool. And it is one of the original Pokemon cards ever. It says 97, so in theory these predated the actual card game completely. And the artworks were so cool on these. So this is kind of the OG Psyduck card ever made, and it shows kind of some evolution stats when he evolves into Golduck and everything. So very cool card, using like an attack. Just such cool art, such cool history, even though it's not fully kind of known or realized. And here we have the lowest pop. So it's a pop 4. It's actually a sticker, and a very cool one, Jesse and James. And it's, you know, kind of a hollow prism pattern to it. Just really cool. Didn't even know PSA created stickers. I thought it was mainly CGC. So very cool to see that. Looks awesome. They don't really make appearances ever anymore. They actually did in Pokemon Go one year, but then they like didn't ever again. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know if like the licensing changed or what, or I don't know. They just don't have the same voice actors and don't want to kind of repeat them. I know they were in some of the Sun and Moon anime as well, but for a while we have not seen them. Okay. This, I don't know if any of y'all collect graded packs, but I will say it's one of my weaknesses. It's kind of a niche thing that most people don't really like that much. They retain some value, and there are some good plays where you can grade them and kind of sell off the 10s. But for the most part, you are not really making megabucks grading packs, at least for now. I think there's probably some wiggle room there. But yeah, I bought a 151. Just love the artwork. It's got Mew right on the front. It's got all these holographic other Pokemon silhouettes, including Dragonite's pretty prominent there. Kabutops, there's Charizard down there. So just thought it was a cool set. I think this set is probably going to explode pretty soon. It already is, arguably. Kind of hard to imagine it's going to keep going up for too much longer, but probably a little bit at least. Okay, now this is a package from another friend who is not a card seller. So this is a personal friend of mine. Hopefully this is G-rated material. If not, it's, I guess, still going on YouTube. But hi, Sam. Hope you're doing well. Hope you made it this far in the video. I intentionally kept your package back further to keep you watching. But I guess there is such thing as like a fast forward button, so the kids tell me. But if you fast forward, you probably get hit with an ad. So and we have a hat. That is cool. This is a heavy box. That's really cool. Snorlax hat. Okay. Was not on my bingo card for what I would be coming home to receive. It's got the ears. That is so dang cool. Cool. Thank you, Sam. See, Sam's annoying because he buys me really thoughtful and cool and cute stuff, and then it makes me feel awkward, so then I have to go find him something now. But luckily, something's already in the works, so this is very cool. I will definitely be wearing this out and about, showing some Snorlax love. So this is the last and final package. Then y'all will be free of me for the family and friends I forced to watch this, aka my wife and 2 friends. But yeah, I totally forgot what this is, but as we were opening, I remembered. So kind of a cool pickup. Definitely a market speculation / collection pickup, which is kind of the theme. I am surprised that this packaging is very well done. Like a huge box, and then you get a little box. So that's a good seller. Kind of packed that with care. So, and reusing this, I actually appreciate that. That's good, like environmental stuff. I just created a ton of waste with all this cardboard, and not just the shiny cardboard that I'm buying, but the literal cardboard and bubble wrap. So I always try to reuse that as well. Be a little sustainable, but it is, there's a lot of waste in this hobby for sure. So if you can't tell, this is 36 packs of 151. So we were just talking about that with the graded pack. I also went in pretty deep on raw packs. So if it's 36, I guess we'll count maybe one of these. So again, same Mew art that you see here. Yeah, sorry. I thought it it wasn't shining, but I think it is. It's just the way the light hits it is a lot. It was further away from the light than the slab, so it looked a little different, but now that I'm holding it more centered, looks legit. Very cool set. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, this stack looks smaller. So it should be 36. That seems about right. I'll count it off camera to save you all the hassle. But yeah, that is the last of my pickups. Thank you all so much if you watched. Please remember to like and hopefully subscribe. And we'll keep bringing you videos. Maybe a follow-up video on these horrible fakes that what an unethical seller to, once I say cancel the order, they just ship out slabs. So yeah, thank you all so much for your time and your viewership. Have a great one, and this is Collectibles signing out.